Well, Amazon done messed up, didn't they? I've got a whole nother video featured talking about quote-unquote leaks and how and when you're allowed to use them coming up later on in the month, I think. But considering the fact that everybody else has talked about these images slightly earlier than me, means that I'm going to talk about them too. There's also a few more images in this video, as more stuff has literally only just leaked, such as things like the buildable Harry and Hermione, the chess set, and the new Quidditch classroom. Starting off with what I think is the most interesting, here is a better look at the chess set. Amazon did release these pictures, so I am legally allowed to talk about them. Now, me and everybody were speculating that they were going to use minifigures as the chess pieces, but alas, no, they're not. They're using stuff like minifig heads and minifig hats, which is, again, in my opinion, fine. I actually think this is one of the best looking sets out of this entire wave, mainly because it has those three characters that I've really wanted out of the Philosopher's Stone in the correct outfits. To the point where I even designed my own, and this is coming up in a future CMF video that I am really excited to release, but I'm glad we have official LEGO variants of these figures. With the chessboard itself, I think it's actually a really nice looking set. The only thing I don't like about it, I unfortunately see these pieces sliding around a lot. There has been no sort of indication of studs used, meaning that the pieces are going to slide around a lot, meaning that I think it's probably marketed towards actually playing this set rather than displaying it. Something strange about the golden figure as well, which I'll explain when I get to the Quidditch set. This set is going to get the stamp of approval in my books, something I'm going to be doing for all of these sets to see if I'm actually going to be buying it, and you guys can expect a review of it. Now moving on to the buildable figures. Now, I actually really like these. I really wasn't expecting to like these types of figures. I really enjoy the larger minifigures from LEGO. I enjoyed the little Ant-Man that they released, and I enjoyed the little Gwarp that they released. Granted, their backs were not very cool, but these ones seem to be much bigger at a much larger piece count, which is actually strange because I'm designing my own Giant Man figure that actually looks very similar to these types of figures. I expect that mock when I can afford it. But in terms of these figures, I really enjoyed the printed pieces on this, being the faces. I also really like that Hermione's hair looks exactly like the minifigure with that hair piece. I really do like that. And also Harry's cape in this situation. Really hope it's made of a soft material, even though it looks like a plasticky material on the box. Either way, really excited for this set. I think it will look great in my display case, and to my surprise, gets a Tommy C seal of approval, and I'm going to be buying it. Now moving on to the Quidditch set. Now this is again newly leaked about an hour ago in my time. I really like the Nexo Knight shields with the Hogwarts crests on them. I think they look really cool, and I really hope that they are printed and not stickers. Everything that we've been speculating right now turns towards printed because they don't usually do stickers on Nexo Knight shields, but there's a first time for everything, so I'm really hoping that these are prints and not stickers. As in terms of the set, I'm really happy we're getting another Remembrall. I was going to buy a old Remembrall to just display in my nice Quidditch display that I've got going on, and I no longer need to do that, which is really cool because, like I say, this set's coming with Draco, Neville, and a Remembrall, and it's also coming with a new Madam Hooch, which I'm really excited for because it's different than the Bricktober pack, which I was really worried about. Me and Miss Bricks recently got a Bricktober pack from Harry Potter, so I'm really glad that they're not redoing all these figures like they did with the Umbridge. Something strange to note about this set, though, is that it comes with the Quirrell figure, the Golden Quirrell figure, and I really think that this Golden Quirrell figure should have come with the chess set, and the Snape should have come with this one. Snape and Quirrell are a bit strange to slot into these kind of sets, so I think switching them around would have made Quirrell make a bit more sense, even though Snape, again, being in this set wouldn't have made a lot of sense either. But it comes with a Slytherin member, so you could have said that that was the kind of reason that he came with the Quidditch set, but I don't know. I just think Quirrell would have been better off in the chess set. Golden Quirrell, that is. Also, thinking about this just now off the top of my head recording this, it's strange that this set doesn't look to have any sort of pins in the side. Meaning, obviously, I don't know whether this is meant to be part of the 20th anniversary set where they all combine together, and you'll see what I mean by that in a minute, or whether this is technically classed as a Hogwarts expansion, which is going to be tailoring towards things like your astronomy tower or your clock tower. So, you know, we're still up in the air, and until we can get our hands on the set, I don't think that'll be made very clear. And clearly, LEGO never fucking learn. This is the Buildable Forks figure, which I am extremely disappointed about. It is practically the exact same build as the Hedwig, just color swapped to red, with a brand new head and some feet. Obviously, the stand is slightly different, but the mechanism seems to be the same, which I'm extremely disappointed about, as you guys know from my last video. If you haven't seen it, the link will be in the description and the end card. I really don't like the Hedwig set, to the point where I chucked it off of a roof. I'm going to be getting this set just to see if it is anything better than the Hedwig, but it's not going to be one that I feel will survive for very long. Now moving on to some of the sets that already a lot of people have talked about, considering that I was slightly late to all of this Harry Potter news. First off, I just want to say that even though I'm late to these sets look really, really nice, and I think it's worth me giving my opinion so you guys can see what I think of them. First one we're going to talk about is the cheapest of the sets, the girls' bathroom, or I think they're calling it the Polyjuice Potion Mistake, which I think is a much better name than just girls' bathroom. Really, really excited to get this set. Now this set comes with, I believe, Golden Harry, also seems to come with one stall and that big bathroom sink, which I'm really, really excited about. I really hope behind the sink there is a trapdoor to lead to the Chamber of Secrets. Again, you'll see why I'm saying that in a second. Some kind of play feature in that aspect would be very nice, but I really like this set just for the figures alone. It's really nice to see some different robe pieces for Slytherin, as I think all of these characters do have Slytherin robes. I also like the fact that Harry and Ron have been rumoured to have Crab and Goyle faces on the back, which would make sense because of the Slytherin robes. I really hope we get new hair pieces for that though, and obviously Hermione having the cat variant, which I think a lot of people have been asking for so many years. This one gets my massive seal of approval, as I'll probably be buying multiple just because I want more of those figures. Now moving on to one that I'm really unsure about. Now this is the Hogsmeade Village set. I honestly, this one is the one that sticks out to me as the one that I'm not going to buy. I don't know why, it just gives me that off feeling, which I don't really like. Obviously, I'll probably pick it up for investment purposes, mainly because I think having a Hogsmeade Village, if they do a Shrieking Shack later on down the line, could be a really cool addition to that set, making a full Hogsmeade Village. Obviously, the figures in this set are phenomenal, and I really don't understand why LEGO Harry Potter can do figures so well, but other themes can't. I'm unsure whether it's accurate to the scene, but having another Harry with this jumper on really kind of annoys me, because this is the same Harry jumper that we had throughout all of the Prisoner of Azkaban sets, but it might be accurate to the scene, so I don't fully know. I think it probably is. This set's going to be coming with Golden Ron, and honestly, I think I'm just going to be picking this figure up from Bricklink and keeping the set sealed. It's not one of those sets that massively appeals to me, but I tell you, a set that does really appeal to me is the Fluffy set. Now, this Fluffy set I think is actually really cool. I don't really like the Fluffy out of it, but I do like everything else. The build for the tower and the actual castle piece itself looks to be detachable, so you can display them in either a castle formation or put them together to combine in the other Hogwarts sets, like I say, a bit later on. But as for the Fluffy himself, I think he's consisting of around 100 pieces with those molded heads, and I just don't think that that's enough pieces to get a Fluffy that actually looks decent, as well as a accurate looking dog. I think it's great for a playset kind of thing, but I think Fluffy does deserve his own treatment, having around 250 pieces. Oh, strange you should say that, because I've done exactly that, and the video's coming out very, very soon. Thinking about it, the one thing I'm actually massively disappointed about in this scene is seeing the Golden Trio in normal Gryffindor outfits. I guess you could argue that it is good to get them in their robes, considering that I don't think we've had a set where they're in their full robes, and arguably when they first meet Fluffy, they are in Gryffindor robes. But in that case, why would you include the harp? The harp is from the end of the film, where they are in their chess set outfits, meaning it would have made more sense to include the same figures from the chess set in this set as well. I understand that they probably did this because they're already including the figures in the chess set, but thinking about it, I think this Fluffy set and the chess set are around the same price, so hopefully it's not going to cost me too much more to get that chess set as well. Now onto the big set. This is the Hogwarts Castle of this year, which I really, really like. Not only is it a fantastic callback to the 2001 set, being practically identical, just using updated pieces and techniques, it also looks like it's got a bunch of new features like the Chamber of Secrets, as well as a bunch of accessories. Something I think is worth mentioning off the bat is that you can combine all of these sets together to make one very, very big Hogwarts Castle. Again, very, very similar to the 2001 and 2010 sets. Feature I'm really, really happy about and cannot wait to do myself. Like I say, going through this set, it looks to be that there is a slide underneath the Hogwarts Castle where the bathroom would go. So I'm hoping that there is a trapdoor so you can go straight from the bathroom, straight down that slide into the Chamber of Secrets. I also really, really like the fact that we're getting so many accessories in this set, being stuff like an owl, the sorting hat, snakes, books, those Cornish pixies, which I think are really, really cool, being made in that translucent blue material. Not only that, we're getting wizard cards throughout all of these sets, similar to the LEGO video cards. which I think are going to be randomly distributed throughout all of these sets. So you'll actually have some collecting aspect of it. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be too much, or maybe they're not even random, because I don't think buying two $130 sets would be very cool for anyone. But maybe it's like a trading card sort of system where you buy two sets, a relatively cheap one and a relatively expensive one that'll give you rarer cards, and then you can trade them with your friends at school or whatever. Still, that feature is a massive up in the air kind of thing, so we'll see what happens when the set comes out. I also really like the fact that this set comes with a lot of unique minifigures that we haven't seen across most of the sets from Harry Potter Waves, and figures that we've been asking for a very long time, such as Colin Creevey. A lot of people thought that this character was Ron. Actually, it turns out it's Colin Creevey, as you can see from this picture. Very, very small. He is holding the camera, so I'm guessing that this is him and not Ron. Obviously, we are getting some more characters that we've seen before, things like Nearly Headless Nick. I don't know what it is about this, but I think he's done in a white color rather than a light bluish gray, so maybe he's slightly different. I just can't really tell from this picture. You guys can let me know in the comments whether you think that this is done in white or is a light bluish gray. Personally, I think it's a white. Obviously, something that is in light bluish grey is Tom Riddle's trousers, which I think is a very, very strange misstep. I think the one in the book was far superior than this figure, even though I'm glad they didn't use the same figure that was in the book, making the book figure way more collectible. I think that this figure is a somewhat good substitute. I do think the old figure was much, much better. Obviously, it's really nice to see a Ginny figure after all of this time, being in the Hogwarts robes. Unfortunately, she still has a case of Susan Bones syndrome, but hey, at this point, I think it's the best we're going to get. One thing that's really nice to see is a pink Dumbledore. Again, like I say, very, very reminiscent of the 2001 version of the Hogwarts Castle, looking to have some very, very nice prints. And again, another different Dumbledore figure, which I think at this point, we've got like 4 different Dumbledores. So I'm really excited for that. This set, of course, gets the seal of approval for I'm going to buy it day one. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting these sets and showing them off to you guys. If you're excited for episodes of Is It Worth My Fucking Money on these things, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, because I cannot wait to get my hands on these sets to make sure I can give an honest review to you guys. Thanks so much for watching this longer video, guys. I believe this is all the Harry Potter sets that have been leaked on Amazon. I don't know if we are getting any more. If we do, I would like to cover them and just give my initial first impressions, as I don't really tend to do news type videos, but I actually saw these sets and couldn't resist talking about them. Thanks to everybody that's got to the end of this one, and I will speak to you guys in the next video. Goodbye!